Hello, this is Zayed Ahmed from ASL BPO, and welcome to uh, our next outsourcing blog. Today, we're going to talk about the effect of coronavirus on the outsourcing industry. So, as you all know, the coronavirus pandemic has affected all industries in the global network adversely. Most affected countries are in a state of nationwide lockdown, with only those that are in the recovering phase, such as New Zealand or Italy, starting to partially open with a lot of safety measures in place. There's already predictions that the full recovery from this pandemic is at least a year away, if not more. And so the global outsourcing industry, along with its related sectors, have been heavily impacted from this pandemic. Uh, Many businesses, many outsourcing companies are finding themselves like either closed or have their operations drastically reduced. Uh, so, in order for them to come out of those dire times and survive, the industries must first understand what challenges they are facing and adopt measures to overcome them. So, but first, we need to know what challenges we are facing, what challenges the outsourcing sector is facing amid the coronavirus pandemic, right? So, one of the most major uh, challenge is that right now there's a drastic reduction in the work volume of work throughout the sector because most of the potential clients, most of the clients, their businesses are also shut down or very limitedly open. There's not much work that these companies are sending to to the outsourcing company themselves. So um, uh, s- many smaller BPO companies in Bangladesh, India, and Philippines are running their operations in a very limited manner, and if this crisis prolongs, some of them will be forced to shut down due to incurring consecutive losses. Uh, because of the economic halt from this pandemic and the recession that will follow, uh, many clients are also, of course, being affected, so they're stalling payments or even defaulting on them. So the outsourcing companies, of course, will find that it's very hard to maintain a steady cash flow and subsequently will have a hard time paying their employees or paying their dues on time. Because most of the employees are right now working from this of course is decreasing their efficiency in a drastic way because home-based work is simply unable to bring out the results of getting 100% work efficiency that a professional working environment can. And of course, other factors include that a lot of the employees will not have the infrastructure in terms of the net speed and desktop configurations in their house that a business will have in their operations. So of course, that in that way there will be less, less efficiency in the workflow as well. One of the major risks of home-based work is that there is a potential for security risks of leaking confidential information of clients. So while larger companies do have stringent security policies and training programs for their employees, small and medium-sized BPO companies might not have these security measures in place. So there is a risk of potential security leaks damaging the companies themselves. So these were the four major challenges just that the outsourcing companies will be facing. Of course, there are other problems that they will face, but these four I believe would be the four major ones that they will be facing right now. So let's come to the point where, so what measures should the BPO companies adopt to rise against these challenges brought by the pandemic? Um, Number one, of course, outsourcing companies must strategically cut all unnecessary costs, especially where no return over investment is being generated. Uh, this will lead to significant decrease in the overall operation costs without having to fire any employees, hopefully, and will help the 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 BPO companies mitigate any losses. So how can you stra- cut your costs without directly just firing any employees? So possibly one way possibly is to uh, make the employees temporarily work as a part-time from home if they do not have enough workload, instead of making them work full time and paying for them full time. So you get to keep the employees, they get to, and but you get to also cut the costs from their salaries by making them temporarily work per part time. Also, you need to, if the BPO companies are running ads online, let's say on Google or Facebook or any other platforms, they need to heavily scrutinize those ads and see if any one of them are generating a significant positive ROI in, say, a 40 to 50 days cycle. And if that's not the case, if some ads are not generating a positive ROI, but instead are incurring costs only, those should be turned off right now. A business will also have, many other miscellaneous costs as they operate, and uh, all those need to be looked into and mitigated and turned and reduced wherever they can be. So because the employees, when they're working from home, you get to lose a lot of control over the employees. Uh, uh, One thing that the businesses could do is like take additional measures that include remote monitoring through applications such as TerraMind or EMP Monitor to create uh, workflow tracking softwares, uh, which and what they can do is like give you real time data on what the employees are currently working on, whether they're instead of working not doing anything, or browsing their social media sites like Facebook or Twitter. So all that can be analyzed and and take appropriate measures on. Of course, for security risks, it's a very big time for small to medium sized companies to implement stringent security protocols. Okay, the employees need to be trained on security awareness so they understand what liabilities they might be facing should there be any security leaks from their side. And of course, uh, you the companies themselves should implement the security, which is also something that TerraMind and softwares like remote monitoring like TerraMind and EMP Monitor does. Lastly, the BPO companies must plan for the future and long-term survivability. See, uh, once this recession ends and the economy turns back to normal, potential clients all over the world will be looking for the services from outsourcing companies. And if the BPO companies right now are strategically planning for their marketing strategies and how they will be implementing them, uh, and they will be able to stay ahead of the game and get more clients and start to grow once this pandemic and the recession is over. So we and the outsourcing industry must understand that the pandemic will bring out a recession and not a great depression. So once it's over, everything will start to go back to normal, and that will be the time when the outsourcing companies will solely need to focus on marketing in order to grow. So right now, their focus should be on surviving through the pandemic, with which might go on for the next year or so, till a vaccine comes, and they should also be thinking about what the marketing strategy they should take in the future. So when everything does go back to normal, uh, they're strong as ever and are growing as a company. So that was all. I hope that this blog post helped you guys a lot. Thank you. See you next time.